two divers were exploring the ocean floor and saw a strange creature. But as soon as they saw the great sage's face, he crushed them both with his vines in the 16th year of the holy god. The calendar, an ugly loser who never learned how to open his eyes, led Leo to the site of a huge orc that was killing the nearby villages. Leo was one of the world's 6 greatest heroes. But the man opened his eyes for the first time ever. When they got to the site, Leo looked around to see where the monsters were, but saw that the man was gone because he was scared and tried to draw his sword. 3 mages used barrier magic to stop him from moving, and when they caught him, 5 more troops ran over and put chains around his neck. Even though they held him still and pulled him up, he was able to free one of his legs. The men, on the other hand, stabbed him with their spears. Leo tried to fight back, but he had already lost too much blood, so they just dropped him on the ground. Even though Leo was dead, the troops were happy to have finally killed him because the people liked him more than the king, and he was strong enough to take down their whole kingdom when they left. Leo heard a voice from heaven telling him it wasn't his time. He also wondered why he had walked into their trap when he knew they were going to kill him. He did say, though, that all he wanted was for people to feel safe. When she asked him if he felt bad about saving them from the SS rank calamity, he said no, because he didn't think they were bad. The goddess told him that it didn't matter if they were bad or not because the whole world is bad. To start a revolt against the world, she invited Leo. When he asked her why, she told him. He was the only one she told him. She was able to ask for help, but then she admitted she was lying. She really did it because she had been watching him the whole time and fell in love with him. She told him that being a hero was boring, so he should become hers. Leo woke up from his dream determined to find Riselia and bring the monster back to life. His eyes moved to her. Lord's troops at the same time, Celia was sleeping, but Leo told her to wake up, and she did. She was confused about what had happened to her. Since she was now his helper, Leo showed her the symbol on his arm and told her she had to do whatever he wanted. When she heard that, she knew he could do whatever he wanted to her, but she told him to be gentle because she doesn't like it. That was rough, though. Leo told her that her body was useless because she had spent the whole night sucking his fluids out. Celia said she was sorry because she couldn't help wanting to drink his blood while he was sleeping, but Leo told her he doesn't mind. He agreed to let her drink his fluids as long as she stopped brushing her teeth. She was wondering if they were talking about the same thing. F started by calling her and telling her that there was a huge meeting where the leaders were talking about huge things happening in the sea. Last night, Celia asked her what they were talking about, and she said that 3 troops had disappeared without a trace. She also said that she would look into what was causing the trouble, but her whole fleet of missiles was the problem. Brother, we need to stay focused in the back. We need to stay on task after the call is over. She told Leo that today they don't have school, so she planned to do something. While they were training together, Leo wondered if she wanted to drain all of his body fluids first to get her mana back. At the same time, the island's leaders were still looking for the divers who had gone missing. But when they watched the tape from the previous night, they saw that the divers had been taken by a void creature. After all, the third attack garden was destroyed 6 years ago, and a building very much like it had shown up under the island. One of the generals told the army leader to get his troops ready for the next battle. But the army leader knew that getting ready for battle would make panic worse, so he decided it would be best to hide its presence for now. The phone started to ring, and when one of the leaders hung up, he said that the building hadn't been seen since last night. Celia was training at the same time against the drone robots. She knocked them off and cut down one of them. She was done with her lesson on the system, Leo thought. I was amazed at how smoothly she used the sword, and I wondered if she had ever been trained. So she told them that she had been teaching herself how to comfort herself since she had never had a family. Her Leo told her that he would teach her how to use her mana to improve her physical skills and get the most out of her vampire queen magic. But he wanted to really challenge her, so he called up his wand and used it to create a magical bubble of cover from the ground up around them. He started to spawn a bunch of skeletons, which scared Celia because she had never seen any before. She started running towards them one by one, though. She began cutting them all down and jumped to avoid their attacks as Leo called up hundreds more until she was beaten. Every one of them, she moaned, because she was so tired, so Leo used his one to eat their bodies. As she thanked him, Leo told her that she could recharge her mana because she was already much stronger than she was before. Even so, she still wanted Leo to train her more and show her how to use the sword. But before he told her to watch what she was saying, he started to growl because he was hungry. At the same time, F-Sphere was looking for the missing men in the attack garden, and divers were still looking for their bodies on the other side of the island below. This was the last time Sakuya's ugly behind lost any money. As she got closer, she saw Blackest sitting alone. She saw that he didn't have a collar, so she chose to name him Kuran. When he growled at her, she tied her food to him and left him in F's dorm. Mrs. Huge Cannons came in and told F to try on her new warm suit made of liquid. Before making Leo drink all of her liquid, F asked if it was good and wished her luck. Sakuya then walked in and said something smelled like fish. Sakuya told Regina that it had to be the new food she made, but after sitting down to eat, she said it had to be something else. When Regina asked F why she was wearing her outfit, she told her that she was still looking into the whole attack garden. Even though it was her day off and Sakuya was already asleep in the city, Leo was still amazed at how well their society worked and how peaceful everyone was. Sherry's jerk boyfriend turned into a cook to feed Leo the best food. When her boss asked her to cut up the potatoes, she told him she had a sharper knife and cut everything up along with his plate. The boss yelled that this was why her master had rejected her, because of how ugly and pointless she was. What did he say as she was cleaning the stores outside? While Celia drove Leo around and went to get him food, Sherry looked at her with jealousy and thought why he would choose an ugly old woman over her. A few minutes later, Celia arrived at the restaurant. He wasn't sure why the kids who came to see Celia were there because they were at a shelter to see her. And she told him that they made money by selling food like a restaurant. Leo saw that some of them were his age and thought that was funny. He thought back to the times when he was hungry and didn't have much money and saw her smiling around them. He was glad that people in the world cared about those kids. Someone big and ugly asked him if he was friends with Celia. While Celia was unpacking her food, a jerk came up to her and grabbed her skirt, but Leo shot him before he could do any damage. He was told by Celia that he was just a kid and didn't know what he was doing. He got his shadows out of the way. When the orphanage guardian finally showed up, Celia told her that he was the lead she found in the dungeon. So everyone ran and thought he was the coolest guy for being able to stay alive against gaps. When Celia told the kids that she had brought donuts, they all ran and were excited to eat their favorite food. The guardian told them to be quiet. Leo realized as he looked at them that this was the place Celia wanted to protect. However, the place he wanted to protect was still under the water. The new divers were not sure where the building had gone, but someone inside the cave heard something. When there was a jolt against the wall, F saw the monitor and read it. Sakuya, on the other hand, felt it in her bones. Two guys were talking about how Annie just had her climax. Video was, but they saw huge trees all over the building ready to eat their useless behinds for not liking my videos. But Leo liked eating his food with the orphanage kids at the same time. Watch this movie until next time.